Hi everyone, welcome to my long-term short review of Tascam Portacapture X6 linear PCM recorder / 32-bit float multi-channel field audio recorder / USB-C audio interface. So without further ado, let's start from unboxing. Portacapture X6 comes packaged in quite simple carton box, which is very easy to recycle. In the box we've got multi-language manual, the recorder itself, and 4 single-time use alkaline batteries. In my opinion, Tascam had to skip on not so good alkaline single-time use batteries and ship X6 with the proper adapter instead. The manual is quite thick. There is detailed explanation about functionality of the device. Good thing to read it first before one starts to use Portacapture X6. And here is the star of the show itself. There is nothing else in the standard Portacapture X6 packaging, no cables of any sort. Besides Portacapture X6, I've got a couple of more things to unbox today. One of those would be this very small Tascam AK BT1 Bluetooth adapter, which is rather strangely not built in nor included. One have to purchase it separately. And the other one is Tascam PS P520U AC wall adapter. In case with wall adapter, situation is a bit different. I wanted to purchase this particular adapter because it's capable of delivering 2 ampere on 5 volt, which is required by X6 system in order to work stable and secure. Most of the common phone charger can deliver on average about 1.2-1.8 ampere on 5 volt, which will be undesirable and eventually could introduce instability to the X6 operational system. Now let's take a closer look at the device itself. On the left side we've got 2 high-quality XLR inputs made by Neutrik, very well-known name in pro audio. 3.5mm external stereo input, line out, headphones out, and volume knobs. On the right side we've got power on/off hold switch, USB-C connector, and micro SD card slot. On top we've got stereo microphone capsule, which is rotatable in the way that one could fix it in the simple AB or XY configuration. On the bottom we've got Bluetooth adapter connector, peak and record indicators. On front we've got home, play, pause, menu, mark, forward and rewind knobs. Also quite large scroll wheel and touch-enabled 2.4-inch color display. On the back of the device we've got batteries compartment and mounting screw hole to mount it with tripods or other equipment. Speaking of build, I have to say that even the device itself has rather thick and substantial plastic build. It feels good in the hand and seems to be quite easy to operate. Moving on, let's assemble it all together. Here is my Eneloop rechargeable, Bluetooth adapter and micro SD card. Now let's talk about settings menu. Tascam Portacapture series using so-called launcher app-like control interface, whereas one can choose presets or apps if you prefer, which can suit certain situations of recording. For example, recording of the voice, instruments or podcasting. Those apps or presets specially designed to simplify the process. I'll start from podcast app. As you can see here, we've got pretty familiar interface. Whereas 2 built-in microphones or 3.5mm input could be used as main source, and channels number 3 and 4 is used for sound paths, plus all 4 channels routed to the stereo master fader. There is also direct access to the virtual mixer panel. As I already said, one can choose between built-in microphones or external 3.5mm input as a source. That is very nice and useful, because one can connect external analog mixer with chain of microphones connected and mix it all down on the recorder. Moving on to the shotgun app. As you can see, everything is quite simple and easy to understand. Here we've got volume, microphone gain, direct access to presets for microphones, if we had some, of course. Here's also easy to change routing and microphone settings. Next would be the music app. Here we've got gain, volume control fader and reverberator effect level fader. This app is very useful for people who recording solo instruments, vocals, etc. It is also very handy if one would like to record some music ideas on the fly. As in cases with all previous apps, here is also easy to access all microphone, routing or recording file settings, like for example frequency range or beat depth. Moving on to the voice recorder app. Situation here even easier than in any previous cases. We just have here one volume fader. All other settings still can be accessed through the physical menu knob underneath the display. Couple of words about system of routing inside the Portacapture X6. As you can see here, one can choose which source goes into which channel. Like for example, one can route audio from USB to the channels 3 and 4 and record it all on the device simultaneously with channel 1 and channel 2 or external source through the 3.5mm input. Personally, I found it one of the most significant features of X6. Last but certainly not least, app which I would like to talk about is manual recording app. This app is the most interesting one for me. I'm using it all the time. As you can see, one can select input routing and all other things, just as in all previous cases, plus extended outlay with basically full info on the display. We've got here direct access into the mixer, input or home panel. Full control over everything what is going on the device, with easy access to the all settings. From lesser, so to say, favorable points, I would name the implementation of the scroll wheel. In my opinion, it has to be implemented overall in settings menu and app launcher. It has to be possible to scroll through the files or during playback scrolling through the track. That could be an absolutely great help for navigation. The other thing is the customization of the launcher itself. There is apps or presets I will never use, which is always in the way and I have to skip through them, which is rather frustrating. So there is some room for improvements. Apps also feature a software or virtual mixer, whereas one can mix incoming channels to stereo master out. It could be very handy for live streaming or podcasts recording. One can recreate certain situations with microphone placement, panning it to left, right or keeping it in the middle. It is also quite easy to operate through the touchscreen. Portacapture X6 has a very good headphones amplifier, therefore makes possible to drive serious studio grade headphones, which is great if one would like to do some mastering or just simple tracking with Tascam Portacapture X6. Now let's take a look at the Bluetooth functionality. Firstly, hitting on to the settings and choosing Bluetooth connection modes. We've got choice between remote control or timecode synchronization. I would like to check out the remote control. I already installed Tascam Portacapture app from the App Store on my iPhone. So let's run through the settings. The connection itself is very stable. One can browse through the all settings and menus on the device, only on much bigger screen, which is obviously very helpful and easy to navigate. It simplifies the process. I don't think I need to explain how handy it is to have fully functional remote control for such a device, especially if working on location. The only negative thing I could mention is that the losing connection will stop the recording on the device and bring it all to a standby mode. It is indeed a very big problem, the whole idea of the remote control. Hopefully it will be resolved in coming updates. Tascam Portacapture X6 makes use of 32-bit float audio technology coupled with double AD converters, which makes possible to escape deformation of the recorded signal due to volume overload or clipping. In case if recorded signal was too low, too soft on volume, one can always change it later in the software without distracting changes in tone or dynamics. And I have to say, according to my own personal experience, it works flawlessly. Portacapture X6 has very good microphone preamplifiers. Even recordings made through 3.5mm external input sounds great, with good dynamics and very low self-noise. I primarily use Tascam Portacapture X6 for recording of ambient sounds, lavalier microphones, and occasional stereo recordings through the XLR input or 3.5mm external input. Time by time I use it as a USB audio interface for my iPad as well. It works absolutely great with it. In Cubasis app, it gets seamlessly integrated with the software. Recordings made with it are of pristine quality. But it obviously not only works great with iPadOS, it has also worked very well with Windows-based PC. Just have to download driver from official Tascam X6 page. Latest driver makes even possible to run Portacapture in 32-bit 96 kHz mode on Windows PC. Tascam Portacapture X6 also a great companion for any video setup. Its compact, relatively lightweight design makes possible to mount it basically anywhere, plus possibility to precisely adjust volume on incoming and outgoing signal, 32-bit float audio technology coupled with double AD converters, and a Bluetooth synchronization for the timecode. Quick look at the file system on Portacapture SD card. As you can see, Portacapture OS creates 3 folders on SD card. Sound, where per default all recordings will be stored. Soundpad is where user can store sound bites for podcast app, and utility folder. As you can see, recording in manual mode or with manual recording app, which I use most of the time, creates number of tracks according to amount of channels used, plus stereo mix, all in 32-bit 96 kHz. Transfer speeds are very low though, really nothing to write home about, but nevertheless, USB-C is a convenient connector, so let's settle with that thought. Now I would like to introduce you to a couple of samples of recording I've made with Portacapture X6 and its microphone capsules here in The Hague in the early hours of the evening in the park not so far from the highway. Have to say that it was a very windy afternoon. First sample is the recording with A-B microphone capsule configuration, and the second will be one with XY. As you could hear, X6 is capable of making pristine quality audio recordings with great dynamics. Wide range, low self-noise and fantastic focus with its built-in capsules. I also admire possibility to quickly switch between AB or XY configuration. Speaking of which, I would prefer XY configuration over AB for significantly better focus and overall dynamics. After several months of use, Tascam Portacapture X6 became my favorite piece of gear. Great audio recording in any situation, plus all extra features including handy mixing console, compact design, extended routing possibilities, and of course 32-bit float audio makes it an outstanding choice for premium field audio recorder. In my personal opinion, it is really perfect. And that would be all for now. As usual, thank you for joining in. Thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe, and I see you all next time.